You are one room away from changing your entire life. Yes, sir. Let me say it louder for my chosen ones in the back. Listen, family, you are one room away from changing your entire life. I need somebody to drop in the comments and say it's coming real soon. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say it's coming real soon. Now, the reason why I say you are one room away from changing your entire life is because what happens is God tends to close a door. And this is going to be one of the talking points, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway. God tends to close the door. And what we try to do is bang on that door, break in that door, go around the side door, get inside the window, whatever the case is, not realizing that you are actually one room away from changing your entire life, meaning you don't need that particular door to have access to that room. You just got to keep going down the hall. Somebody drop in the comments and say, keep walking. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say, keep walking. See, the point is that you are one room away from changing your entire life. Within those rooms, there are people who will wait for your greatness. They'll wait for your gift. They await for your talent. They are being used by the Most High to put you in position. Okay. And here's the thing, y'all. I'm not saying that you need a human being to do something for you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that when you are chosen, you're going to meet people along your chosen path. For Moses, that was Jethro, right? For Joseph, that was the guy he was in captivity with, okay? And the list goes on. For Job, it was those three wise men, or it was some guys who was telling him to not act as if he was ungrateful, or even act as if he couldn't understand why. They said, don't question God. Don't question him. Just know that you're going through what you're going through for a reason, and be grateful for what you're going through, because this is going to be all worth it when you're blessed tenfold. What I'm saying is, y'all, is that on your path, on your journey, you're going to meet the right people along the way. But these are not people who's doing things for you. These are people who's been put in position and ordained to do things for you, meaning anybody else can be used as well. Never get attached to the human, okay, the being, the flesh, right? Never get attached to that. Understand that it's more so about the spirit who God has sent into your life. That makes sense? Drop in the comments and let me know. But yes, y'all, you are one room away from changing your entire life. Somebody drop in the comments and say, I'm one room away. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and get directly into this video. As y'all can see, y'all, second video of today. We back with a full head of steam, y'all. Anytime I get that rest, I always come back bigger and better, I feel like, because if you don't get that rest for yourself, you're going to be mentally drained. Yesterday, y'all, I was fatigued. And when you're fatigued, you're sleepy, you're not hearing correctly, not seeing correctly, you really got to get your rest, and you really got to prioritize and cherish you. And there's going to be a lot of people, y'all, who don't understand or even like that. Like, family members may be mad that you can't come to a family event. Sometimes people who you are friends with, they may not understand why you're kind of standoffish, distant. It's not about you trying to harm somebody or even be nasty, all right, or even act like you're better than people. It's the fact that you need that space for yourself, right? I kind of went into a rant about that, but that's what I'm going through. I just want y'all to understand that it's all about prioritizing yourself so you can be a better version of yourself for other people, okay? But anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and get right into it. We right here in front of the legendary Great Couch. Anytime I'm in front of the legendary Great Couch, something legendary gonna be said, y'all, and that's just how that go. And of course, y'all, make sure y'all leave a thumbs up on this video as well as subscribe to the channel. Yes, sir. Not only that, y'all, but y'all be sure to ring my bell so you can be notified after every single video I post. Let's get right into it, chosen one. So number one, it's going to be this right here, family. Your gift commands every space you're invited to, all right? Your gift commands every space you're invited to. See, drop in the comments and say invitations only. Okay, now I want to break down the pros and cons of invitations, but I also want to speak to how your gift commands every space. Let's talk about these invitations. Most times, y'all, when you are invited, people are bringing you into the space because they want to utilize your gift, or they know that you have some form of value to add, right? Whether you're using your gift, your talent, your speaking, your encouragement, whatever the case is, it all ties around your gift and the value that you are able to bring. So most times that's the case when people invite you. All right. Anytime a person have a show, whether it's a music show, whether it's a speaker show, whatever the case is, there's a booking fee. You got to book that artist. You got to book that speaker. Why? Because what they're bringing to the table is valuable, and they're coming out their way to answer to your invitation. Nobody owes you anything, right? So when you are invited, typically you're gonna have the better end of the stick versus you asking somebody, hey, can I come to your club and perform, or can I come to your event to perform? Can I go to your festival to perform? Right? That's not what you want. You want people to reach out to you, okay? And this is when your gift is gonna really command every space. Now you gotta be cautious of the flip side of being invited. Some people will invite you to their space, in their room, and in their presence to treat you like ish. Yeah, let me say it once again, y'all. Some people will invite you into their lives, into their homes, into their festivals, into their churches, into their events, synagogues, whatever the case is. They will invite you just to treat you like ish. Why? Because you in my domain. Nah, you do what I say. Even though they invited you, they never had good intentions for you. I told y'all that story when I received some type of award. I went to go get a award, and what happened is I got there. They did not treat me the way I thought I was going to be treated. I'm not saying I need to have the red carpet, rolled out for me. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you should at least respect the person. You should at least, make sure a person feel welcome. You should make sure you have that warm energy. Warm energy and welcomeness is something they did not have, right? Sometimes people will make you feel like you owe them something when they called you out. People will act like, they did you a favor when they called you out. So be aware of both sides, okay? But however, y'all, when your gift commands every space you are invited to, let's just say you are a singer, okay? And if you're really gifted, if you're really good, it don't matter what room you go to. You're going to almost have that same effect no matter where you go, because the gift never changed. The people did, the rooms did, maybe even the energy did, right? The environment did, but your gift never changed. Therefore, you're going to pull most times those same reactions. You're good at singing. You're good at speaking. You're great at what you do. We love when you do it. You're going to see smiles. You're going to see laughs. You're going to see people kind of take a liking to you everywhere you go. That is your gift commanding every space you are invited to. All right? That is your gift. And let me say this, y'all, before we move to number 2. Even when you have a bad room that they invited you to, your gift is still going to command that space. Yeah. Your gift still will command that space. That's why people keep looking at you. That's why people, even though the main people who probably invited you there, or the people you expect to get that love from, it's going to be people who are alongside them, right? Who's going to pour into you, alongside them, who's going to let you know. And even if the crowd don't let you know, your presence and your energy going to speak for you. You're going to see how people look at you. And you're going to always have at least one person who walk up to you, or at least one person who says something to you. That is because your gift is commanding every space you are invited to. Does not matter if they're treating you like King Tut or if they're treating you like you are a peasant. Either way it go, your gift is going to resonate with somebody. And that lets you know that what you have on the inside of you is real. It's the truth. Number 2 is going to be this right here, y'all. You are dominating the small obstacles. Okay, you are dominating the small obstacles. So a lot of times, y'all, we as human beings, I'm not going to say you, they, or anybody else, because we all have this as human beings, according to my doctrines, right? But according to what I've seen, y'all, and studied, most people want to go ahead and get to the major leagues, but they lose focus on the juniors. Right? Let me say that once again, y'all. They want to go to the major leagues, but they lose focus on the juniors. Right? In other words, you want to go to the NFL, but you haven't dominated in college yet. Right? You want to be married, but you haven't did what you needed to do in a relationship yet. Right? You want to have friends, but you can't even treat this one friend right. In other words, you got to appreciate the small wins. You got to appreciate the small obstacles. You got to be able to dominate on that level, right? There's a football player who's from Pearson, Georgia, right? But he made it to the NFL, and also he actually went to the school inside of Douglas, which was my school, Coffee High School, but he's from Pearson, Georgia. For those who already know, his name is Tyreek Hill. Don't really need the introduction for him, right? However, y'all, he ended up going to like a JUCO school, right? Which means you don't really get no exposure. You don't really get a lot of television. You don't get a lot of space to kind of be great. You just kind of great on that level. You're great on that field. It's not much exposure and not many eyes that's on you. So you got to be a bad boy, right, to get those type of eyes on you, okay, to get to the next level or at least do D1. But what I'm saying is this right here, y'all. That man dominated at JUCO. He dominated at JUCO, right? Mind you, he got in trouble. But he went back and dominated at JUCO, went to Oklahoma State, then somehow he made it to the NFL. He dominated the small obstacles. Are y'all following what I'm saying? When you dominate the small obstacles, ain't nothing changed but the size of the obstacle. It's the same thing. It's just a bigger task, right? If you working on a small laptop, guess what? You can take that same work ethic and do it on a big laptop. All I'm simply saying is, y'all, this is how you know you are one room away from changing your entire life. Period. Number 3 is going to be this right here, y'all. God closed the door, okay? God closed the door. Now, understand this right here, y'all. We kind of touched on this earlier, but let me just add to that, right? When God closes a door, we all know that, another one opens and no man can close that door. We understand that. No man can close the door that God has opened up for us. We understand that, right? But let's go a little deeper, okay, as to why he closed that door. Maybe that door was not benefiting you, right? Maybe that door was going to help you in the beginning and then hurt you in the end. Maybe that door was only here to hinder you. Like, you got to think about the reasons of why that door was closed. You got to think of the reasons to why that door was closed. Now, here's the thing, y'all. What we fail to do as human beings is move on. Somebody drop in the comments and say, move on. That's one of the most difficult tasks I believe it is for human beings to do in general. Now, some human beings, they can move on like ain't nothing happened, right? They could be in a 10-year relationship and walk out that 10-year relationship like they was with that person for 10 days. I get it, right? I get it. But for the most part, the way that we are designed, we feel, we create bonds, we get attached, we love, we do certain things that creates memories, and that's what we think about. And we don't want that feeling or that moment to go away. Think about when you're watching cartoons. You think about that moment from when you was a kid. We don't want those moments to go away. What are you saying right now? The door was closed for a reason, right? The door was closed for a reason. Maybe it was for your growth. It was for the betterment of your future, for your kids, whatever the case is. But God closed that door. And this is how you know that you are one room away from changing your entire life. It's getting closer. If you stayed inside the door that he closed on you, you would not be getting to that success, getting to that special moment, getting to that big opportunity, getting to the next room. You would not if you stay there. Make sense of what I'm saying? Y'all drop in the comments and let me know. Somebody drop in the comments also and say you can't stay forever. And that's real. Number 4 is going to be this right here, y'all. You're comfortable with rejection, all right? You're comfortable with rejection. So listen, y'all. The type of person you are, you do not, and you've grown into this, but you do not live for the praises that people give you, right? But you also don't die when you hear the word no. Some people don't understand the word no. Some people don't understand when they say this ain't it. Some people don't understand when they say, hey, man, this is not good work. It's not to say you're not a talented artist or talented author. It's not to say that you don't have the potential. I'm just saying that this ain't good work right here, man. This ain't good work. And so with that being said, when it comes to a person like yourself, when you are in a position of rejection, When you are in a position of a person, sending you back and redirecting you, you don't look at it as why they did this, why they said that, why they did this. You look at it as, God, what is it? What is it that you're doing for me in my life, and where is it you want me to go? What is it you are doing for me in my life, and where is it you want me to go? This is when a person is one room away from changing their entire life. I'm gonna tell you why. When you are comfortable with people telling you no, you can't, you're incapable, you are now creating that wool skin, that leather skin, hard to rip. You got that tough skin. You got that skin that come from Baltimore or something like that. You got that skin that come from New York City. I'm talking about top cities where it's tough at. You got that Philadelphia skin. You got that skin that same skin that your grandmama will always say certain things about you, or that tough love grandma will give you, that tough love granddad will give you. Got that type of skin where it takes a lot to even make you think about something. Yeah, you got tough skin, real tough skin. And so what I'm saying is that you become comfortable with that rejection, and that keeps you pushing, that keeps you going. It puts you on the next level. It gets you ready for the next obstacle. It's like, man, what else? If I made it through this with my grandma, man, what else? If I made it through this with my uncle, man, what else? If I made it through this with that job, what else? If I made it through this with that marriage, what else? If I made it through this without, being able to make it into the industry, what else? If they told me I was incapable, what else? That's when you become comfortable with rejection. And that's very powerful in itself. All right. Some people are not comfortable with rejection. They don't have that tough skin, that wool skin. So the first time somebody say you're not beautiful, you're not handsome, you're not great enough, you're not good enough, they quit. They go tuck their tail like a little dog in the corner. Number 5 is going to be this right here, y'all. You're not scared to let your light shine. Okay, you're not scared to let your light shine. Somebody drop in the comments and say, let your light shine, y'all. Very quick, simple, swift to the point. When you are the type of person who lets your light shine, you realize that closed mouths don't get fed. Closed mouths don't get fed. And so whenever you see the right opportunity, you seize it because you're ready to eat, right? You seize every opportunity, and not every opportunity, but the right opportunities, right? And you eat, meaning if a person puts you in position to sing for one of the biggest record labels in the world, you're going to let your light shine. If a person allow you to display your artwork, display your blueprints, your architecture, display your social media platform, whatever it is that you've been working on that is giving you a shot to get to the next level, you're going to let your light shine. Do you not know that some people won't let their light shine? Some people are talented. Do y'all think the only person who can play basketball good is Michael Jordan? Do y'all think the only people who can sing great is the ones who we see on television? Do y'all think the only people who can build houses are the ones that we see in the, on social media, in the yellow books, wherever you find a person to go build your house, Zillow, whatever the case is? There's other people who have that talent and that gift, but they don't allow their light to shine. Okay? They don't. And so with that being said, y'all, if you are scared to let your light shine, you're going to miss every single shot that you don't take. And that's just the way it go, y'all. All right. So for those who are one room away from changing their entire life, guess what? They ain't scared to go out there and network. They ain't scared to go out there and take a risk. They ain't scared to go out there and meet new people. They're not scared to go get married again. They're not scared to get in a new relationship. They're not scared to try out another church because this church right here did me wrong. They're not scared to start living Christ-like. They're not scared to start doing whatever it is that was holding them back. They're not scared to go out there and do it. Let their light shine. You follow what I'm saying? And so with that being said, y'all, this is who you are. But we'll do a quick recap, y'all, and then we'll conclude this video. Number 1, your gift commands every space you're invited to. Number 2, you are dominating the small obstacles. Number 3, God closed a door. Number 4, you're comfortable with rejection. And number 5, y'all, you're not scared to let your light shine. I need y'all to understand that, and of course, receive that, all right? But with that being said, family, y'all make sure y'all go over to the Rich Mentality Academy. Go get you a Yes Sir hoodie. Y'all be sure to book you a one-on-one session. And, of course, join the membership. Go meet your tribe. And, of course, y'all, you can check out any one of my books. But I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. Keep a rich mentality. Peace.